Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ellie Bodah from Washington State in the US. We are here celebrating 15 years of the international book Chat among Educators, and I always have some people from the US writing, good teachers, and I have my beautiful friend here, Nicole Depew. Um, where are you talking from, Nicole?
So I am also in Washington State, so Northwest Washington.
Oh, good, good. So, if you are listening to us now, I will let Nicole introduce herself, where she graduated, and how her career started. And she can tell what she does nowadays, too.
So my name is Nicole Depew. I went to university in the University of Oregon, and I have a degree, a bachelor's degree from there. And I've been an educator for over 20 years. And right now I homeschool my daughters.
Very nice. And homeschooling is a new topic. We wrote a paper on that, not with Nicole, but it's very important. And today she can gear up talking, explaining to us a little bit more how homeschool works and choosing curricula and everything like that. Um, So, Nicole, how did you participate in this book about education?
Okay. So uh, I wrote about my experiences with students, both in the public sphere and in the homeschooling sphere, and also in the extracurricular tutoring spheres, because I tutor students outside of my own kids. So,
Very nice. And your article had a great impact because it was the title was Helping Students Shine. Can you explain a little bit more about the idea or why you came up with that topic?
so in my experiences working with students, they want to shine. And I think our job as adults, and especially as educators, is to help them in that endeavor. And so a lot of students are looking for confirmation, things that they are good at, and ways that they can make an impact themselves. And so a lot of times when I work with students, I find that students who struggle tend to be students who lack confidence in their abilities. And a lot of times helping them find out what they're good at and giving them tools to learn will help them grow and help them reestablish that confidence and help them shine. And so that's tends to be the focus that I have when I work with students.
And you do a great job. You even have a lot of materials that they can touch or different techniques. I saw last time we were together, you were planning a Greek lesson with different elements and but it was very interactive. So Nico, we'll talk about homeschooling. Why people choose homeschooling? What are the benefits of homeschooling?
So I will tell you, as I grew up, I didn't hear about homeschooling as an option. It wasn't something that I considered. But as we kind of found ourselves moving around or living in smaller communities, homeschooling became an option that we explored. And one of the things that I noticed about homeschooling is in our culture, our fast paced culture, a lot of times family units struggle to find time together. And so homeschooling was a way, because our lives were so busy, to ensure that we had that strong foundation as a family unit. And so that was one of the reasons we chose to homeschool. I think people choose to homeschool for a variety of reasons. Some is just the needs of their child being met in a unique setting is more doable than in a regular setting. I don't believe that any form of education is superior to another. I think it's a based on your family and your educational and your student goals. So I think that there are lots of valid and powerful options for educating our children. So homeschooling is one of them, and it has been great for us. And so that's what we've done. And every year we kind of take that decision year by year.
So how
So,
many kids did you homeschool?
so I've homeschooled four kids, not 100% of the time. We've done part-time public school. We've done different co-ops. Right now, we're part of a formal co-op, so that regularly meets together for community. And I do think community is really important for families and for students.
So, how many years have you been homeschooling, Nicole?
So like 15, I would say about.
15 years, a lot of experience. And it must be hard because they are in different grades. So I've tried a little bit and for 6 months, and it was very challenging. So how do you manage having different grades at the same time?
So it's been different years. There are some homeschool curriculums that you can work with a multitude of different age levels, like unit studies and different things like that. So your students could be all learning the same topic, but at different levels. And then they have their together work and their independent work. Um, I started out doing curriculum where there was one year where I was kind of facilitating three different levels, and that was exhausting.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So it really depends on the needs of your students. So right now, I only have two at home, so that makes a difference, and they're part of the same program, so that makes it easier. So yeah, it depends. A lot of times you can do the same, like maybe history studies and literature studies, but then have them do their unique level for math, for instance. So
Oh, very interesting. And how do you choose a curriculum? Like Brazilians don't have the homeschooling system in place. And sometimes they wonder, I don't know enough, I'm not good at math. So how can I choose something for my kid or my kids?
So I think very rarely do parents choose a curriculum and stick with that the whole way through. We did that mostly. So we started in one curriculum, and then within a year, I kind of knew the style of my kids and myself and picked a curriculum that we stuck with long term. And then the curriculum that we are using is a similar curriculum, but with more of a community based feeling. So there are different types of learners. So there are different types of curriculums, and there are a lot out there. It can be overwhelming. And a lot of times, like
Uh-huh.
I post on my social network that if you would like help determining what curriculum works for you, then I'm happy to help with that. So I guess I don't know, I can't even count how many different options there are for curriculum. Some that are free, and some are online based, and some that are quite expensive and more specified. There's just a lot of options now, and that's wonderful. And I think in every country there's a growing number of different options that are out there and available for people,
Well,
which
very
is
good. So, and you prioritize some language, right? You prioritize Latin, Greek. Is there any particular reason when you're choosing a language to homeschool?
so for language. I think of learning, it's kind of like a muscle. You grow that muscle and you learn how to learn. And young people learning learning a second language or multiple languages is part of that muscle growing and is really good for students. Once they learn how to learn a language, then they can apply that to learning many more languages. And Latin, for instance, is one of those foundational languages that is easy to teach how to learn a language with. So,
And you have been teaching English too in the past? Have you? Have
mhm,
you? Yeah.
yeah, so that's what my degree is in. So yeah, I love literature, and I think that there are many different applications to learning the
Oh.
word, how to communicate. It's
So
very
you know how the brain works for languages and writing and reading. So very good. So if you want to give a message for teachers that sometimes are discouraged, even if you're listening from Europe, from the US, listening to teacher Nicole, what would you say? If you see that, I don't know if you can hear, but my daughters are practicing too. Uh, But we do, it's just very spontaneous conversation here. So
So I guess my main counsel for all educators is to be an encouragement. Learning is hard, and when we put up walls and we get discouraged, that learning becomes even more difficult. So encouraging each other is one of the biggest components to being able to learn new things effectively. So my encouragement is to encourage.
to encourage, very good. Is there any particular way you encourage your students? Like, do you work with a reward system or?
So I think all of us, like there's this thing called love languages, and all of us have different love languages, and we experience encouragement differently. So mine is words of affirmation. So if somebody says to me, I'm doing a good job, that speaks of volumes. And every kid is different. And sometimes we strive to determine what works for a different kid. So it is kind of a trial and error, and just kind of thinking of that individual that you're working with as precious and valuable and brilliant in their way, and helping them to see themselves in that way is one of the pivotal things to help them learn. Case I was actually sitting with a group of ladies, and one of the ladies is a bus driver or has been a bus driver, and she was talking about her past and how she had retired, but the new bus driver was threatened by one of the students' parents, and so had to quit their job. And so she kind of came back on board with a police officer next to her. And that police officer joked about maybe saying, do you need me to shoot my gun? And she said,
Oh,
give me 2 weeks and let me learn these kids' names. I really think kids want to be known. We all want to be known. And I think that is the pivotal thing that our students need. Most kids who struggle and give up on learning do so because they don't think that they can be good at something. And we are all gifted and all have been given gifts that are beneficial to those around us. And so just helping students feel the desire to put effort forth, because all learning requires effort. Some people think, oh, I can't learn because it's hard, but all learning, reminding students that learning is hard and it takes and requires effort, and that they are capable of it. And then they notice that it gets easier. And so sometimes it is rewards. Sometimes a
we
reward,
all need rewards, right? Sometimes.
sometimes the reward is just as simple as acknowledging that they're working and that they're growing and that they're
What a beautiful message, Nicole. I think many people will really take this message very deeply and perhaps change their lives, the way they teach or the way they see their students. So, Nicole, if you wanna leave a message to people listen to you right now, what would be your message?
so I think all of us are given the calling and task to encourage each other and help each other. And we educators are, you know, sharing with each other different things, tools that work, and also successes, and just sharing what those positive stories of how a student was changed because of the influence and passion and desire and commitment of an educator. And those are inspiring. So just continue trying and putting forth that effort to educate, and encouraging those who are learning to not give up.
Very inspiring podcast. Thank you so much. Nicole is very busy. She's in between meetings here. I appreciate the time. And when this podcast goes live, I will send you the link so some other friends can listen to as well.
And I thank you for always being an inspiration and an encouragement to me and also caring about all of the people around you the way that you do. You have been inspiring to me, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next podcast. Bye bye.